Hello guys, it's me, Stark, and there's a new map on Ranked here, but it's honestly not a new map for tournament watchers and tournament players. The map name is Mired. Mired is a map where you start with no TC, 3 villagers, but you do have a scouting unit, a horse. The horse cannot attack units, but it can only scout and block other units. Here we can see a game here between Mr. Jigsaw and freaking Andy. The two of them are very skilled players. Let's take a look here on the civilizations that they took and how they are playing that. Uh, Andy is playing here as the Mongols, Sisho is playing as the Romans. So let's also talk about the map. You have this small, not small, but you have this area, this marsh area here, this where you can walk and you can also build docks if you want, but this area has no fish. Instead of that, each player has a group of 5 boars, guys, at their disposal. Because of this reason, when there are tournament versions of this map, players often ban the Mongols because giving Mongol 5 boars to hunt is way too much of a risk. As you can see, Andy is starting here. He'll try to take multiple boars at once. You might ask me how he can do it with only a few villagers, but now you have the mechanic that killing boars with the TC doesn't lose the food, and you can do this crazy mechanic from Andy, where he just intercalates shots from the TC and shots from the vills to optimize the speed with his killing the boars. Oh, but he did forget the house, so it's not all about hunting. Perhaps he got confused because of the horse, as the hunts also start with one of them. And here, guys, is other mechanic that's pretty common in this map. Blocking the enemy villagers from taking the boar using the horse. Right here you can see Andy trying to block Chicho's view, so he's one view down because of that. So that's another mechanic that you can use. Try to use your horse here to block the enemy villagers from hunting. For example, there comes another villager here from Chicho, and Andy is just trying to walk with his horse, but now he's close to the front, to the town center, and if he gets to that, these things are not gonna be great. By the way, Chicho's having a crazy bad game here, guys. He's against Mongol, he just lost a villager here from Andy, a second one there, but look at that. He is managing to take, at least for now, 4 boars, and his 51 is here. And is gonna try to steal his boar. So, but Chicho still has his scout alive. I know with only 14 HP, but it's still possible that he does manage to block the view. As you can see, Andy is trying to use his own horse to protect the villager, but blocking the villagers is quite effective, and Chicho is able to counterattack and kill at least one villager from Andy. So Andy got housed and lost a villager, Chicho lost 2 villagers. This is the retrospect of the game so far. Andy has eaten 3 boars, Chicho has eaten a few more, and this is his 50 boar, and he still has 2 boars to take here. But don't forget that he can still be lamed here by the horse. No, he cannot. There we go, guys. So basically, this initial boar interaction is like a lot from the game. So that's a game where you have action from the start. In the past, on tournaments, I have seen players using civilizations such as the Goth, because they before they actually had more attack versus hunt. Now this bonus is no more. It doesn't apply anymore. If you ask me other civs other than Mongols to use on this map, I think that Jurchen can find some potential here, because the Jurchen hunt will not decay, so you can just kill like 5 boars and the food is not going to decay, allowing you to maximize your output. Another good option that I give you guys here is playing with the Mayans, because the resources from the Mayans last longer, which means that you can take a lot more food from the boars. So basically those are my initial ideas. You want some more? Chinese can actually be good. Once you play Chinese, as soon as you finish making your TC, you are actually gonna have 6 villagers on the start. So it's basically a matter of making loom, getting a boar, and then you can actually be a few views ahead of your opponent by using the Chinese villagers. So those are basically my takes here. Mongol as one of the best civilizations for the map because of the hunting bonus, followed by Jurchen, Mayans, Chinese, That's basically the idea. Mayans also have one extra view, so one extra view plus the bonus, so very solid civilization. But if you have to pick one, I would do the same as Andy and go for the Mongols. With Mongols, you can actually click up a lot faster than your opponent. You can start using the gold, the small one, that will be around your initial TC position. As you can see, Chicho has this 2 tile gold close to his TC, and he even made an archer range here on this gold. If you want more gold, you have to go more towards the edges of the map. There are some like 4 corners on this map. All the corners are actually populated by huge forests. What a beautiful forest! These colors, man, orange, multiple greens, and oh, honestly, I love this forest. Very beautiful one. Anyway, you have these forests here that you can use on all the corners of the map, but between the corners you have this wide area that you can use to boom. On this wide area you are actually going to find big piles of gold, big piles of stone, 2 of each. So for example, Andy, if he just booms back, he's gonna have access to all this gold and all this stone. So if you go for a civilization and you think about playing unique unit later, the amount of stone on this map is gonna make it viable. If you also try to dominate another corner or in between corners here, you can actually double the amount of gold you have. Because of this amount of gold that this map has, I would argue that another good strategy here, sorry for that, is focusing on gold units and even double gold compositions. If you are unaware of what I'm talking about, double gold compositions is when you are actually using 2 gold units. For example, Andy is opening here with archers. What if during the castle age he does use a combination of archers plus knights, archers plus step lancer, archers plus camel, cav archer plus knights, things like that, you know? So these combinations can actually be pretty good because you do have a lot of gold on the map. So even if you are like spending a lot of this gold, you're still gonna be on good shoes. Another small detail that I have noticed about the map is that since your initial TC is actually going to be very close here to the center, you probably won't have a lot of space to farm around the TC. As you can see here, Andy cannot actually place more than like 6 or 7 farms around his TC. The same goes for Chicho. So one thing that players should do is to develop here to the back, to try and take those deers, for example, make the meal. There are no berries here for you to meal, so you do have to make a meal in one of those deers. And then develop your farming eco around those deers. That's probably something that players should aim to do. For example, take a look on Chicho. He's eating deers here as the Romans. He's not yet farming, but even after he starts to farm, he won't be able to feed multiple farms around his TC. So he'll probably have to do a few farms there, move to the back and start doing farms around the mill. So already plan your base because of that. As you can see, players are playing on Feudal Age. This map is not so easy to wall, but I have seen tournaments where players successfully managed to play this map by walling. I do remember a game from Sebastian, I think, where he just played Saracen and he fully walled himself. And yeah, he did play with a fast castle. I don't know if it was Sebastian or Leroy, it was one of those 2 guys. So different map, the few variations, but you can still manage to figure out some different thing here on the meta that others are not seeing, like walling in Dark Age and going for a fast castle. Alright, on this game, as you can see, Andy is going for archers, Cicho's defending with skirmishers, and is already getting ahead here on the economy because he's adding multiple farms. As you can see, there's a big difficulty to develop your economy during Feudal Age. This is not Arabia where you can just expand farms around your TC. The lack of space is real, so players are actually resorting to make defensive towers during Feudal Age and farm elsewhere. Like for example, Andy is farming on this mule that he used to take deers and close to his tower. And Chicho, well, he hasn't yet started to farm, but I believe that he's actually gonna farm around there. For now, he's actually going for multiple mules and starting to eat different hunting units here, different deer packs. There he comes, moving with villagers, developing. Both players are now in Castle Age, and since the map is quite difficult to wall, aggressive strategies if your opponent did not manage to wall can actually be a good idea. For example, many would say that the Mongols could play like, I don't know, double range cav archers, and try to figure out a way of booming. But Andy here is just going for like triple stable step lancer, and the reason he's doing that is because he knows he's gonna be able to raid, because he knows that his opponent is wide open and this map is difficult to wall. Chicho does a good job here with walling his wood with houses, protecting with a tower, uh, walling and protecting the other areas of his economy, also using towers and his army, but it becomes quite difficult to develop when you are in such situation. Meanwhile, Andy did can develop here, he can make TCs on the extra golds. I would always suggest, guys, that you go for TCs on these extra golds and extra stones here, because those are gonna be your main source of minerals. Chicho's taking some gold hidden here on the left side. He's defending with crossbowmen, also adding up monks. Andy has started to pressure him with mangonels. I think that you guys kind of got the idea of the map. Oh guys, there's another small thing that I would like to share with you. This map has this new animal called fox, the red fox. There are other maps with the presence of red fox, but in case you are unaware of it, red fox is you can actually gain gold by it. I don't know, can you like sell its fur? I don't know, I'm not an fox specialist. But here's the thing, if you have a villager and you ask your villager to take the fox has no armor, the fox has no attack, so it's not gonna fight back like a wolf, and you actually need no dropping point here. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm almost sleeping. So if you have a villager, you can actually order your villager to take like multiple red fox, and he's not gonna just get the gold and go back to the TC. He's just gonna get the full amount of gold from the fox and then go to the other. So if you just get a villager around here and try to take these foxes, you can actually generate a good amount here of gold, or at least extra gold. I think that this can be quite useful if you're playing for a militia, or if you need some mixture here. Oh, I just found the fox. Let the villager take this gold. It's actually going to be a very good source, and you also need no investment from a mining camp. I think you guys kind of got the idea of this game. If I did find some interesting matchup here on this game, on this map, or if I do play this map, I'm actually going to make another video. Hope you guys enjoy it, and this is the new ranked map, Mired.